Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Night Light, where I talk about random topics that somehow relate to sci-fi and horror. So, in the last episode of Sci-Fi Night Light, I was searching for the scariest movie ever made. But most movie lists were more or less just made up of classic horror films that are really good and influential, yes, but not necessarily the scariest.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
I definitely get and support paying respect to all the OGs of horror, but one shouldn't just throw away the title of the scariest film ever made too easily. So, since there was some good, but not necessarily terrifying classic stuff in the last episode, let's check out some of the scariest modern horror films released lately. The thing is though, for every Ouija and Unfriended, there's some really quality scary stuff out there, so I'm just gonna go for the stuff that scared me. Let me know your guys' in the comments. I saw 2005's The Descent at a film festival with a friend, not really knowing anything at all about it. We sat in a pretty empty theater and were completely blown away by it.
Whoa.
This movie follows a group of women exploring a cave and things go horribly wrong. Now, not only was this a good and well-made film, that shit has some good scares.
There's no breeze. It could be any one of these tunnels. Take your pick. Oh, fuck it. Hello! Please. Is there anybody there? Hello!
With minimalistic and natural lighting, the movie gave off a dark and hopeless atmosphere. The creature effects are great, and there's a real sense of claustrophobia, which personally freaks me out quite a bit.
I'm coming back, okay? Okay.
Oh yeah, and gross monsters aren't a whole lot better either. SINISTER from 2012 was a surprise hit as it was made for only $3 million but raked in almost $50 million. SINISTER is about a washed-up author who, along with his family, moves into a house with a horrific past in order to get inspiration for his writing career.
I'm gonna write the best book that anybody's ever read.
I got a really good feeling about this.
Kids, take note. This is always a bad idea. Now, this movie was scary as hell in my opinion. The hellish Bagul demon showed up at some terrifying times, and the home video footage was just flat out nerve-wracking. Overall, one of the scariest films of the last few years, for me anyway, that's for damn sure. 2013's The Conjuring is a film loosely based on real ghostly events, but also definitely managed to have quite a few scary-ass moments. If you want to hear more about the real-life horrors that occurred around the filming of The Conjuring, just click the annotation of the screen to go to my video on haunted movie sets. Anyway, The Conjuring was a success. It spawned a pretty damn good sequel and still stands as one of the scariest films of the 2010s. The 2007 smash hit Paranormal Activity about a haunting in suburbia terrified audiences and really reignited the found footage trend that had cooled off following the success of the Blair Witch Project. Some people hated it and thought it was boring, which I can understand. Personally, the minimalistic style totally worked for me and I enjoyed it. I'd probably call it more startling than scary though. Insidious from 2010 is seemingly about a haunted house, but turns out to be something more. And it was one of the scariest experiences I ever had in a theater.
It scared the hell out of me.
The lack of jump scares, the reliance on practical effects, and the great soundtrack and sound design made this a really scary film for me, and it produced a great sequel as well. What was awesome is that it wasn't just a great sequel to a great horror film, but it tied into a first brilliantly as well. So I'm not going to spoil too much, but basically this film felt like a real nice throwback to some classic scary stuff, but had its own little twist to it. Also, we cannot forget the wave of top-notch Asian horror that's been released since the new millennium and even before. 1998's Ringu from Japan is about a cursed VHS tape that kills people. Oh yeah, kids, a VHS tape is a kind of like an old people version of DVDs. It's what we used to watch movies back at home in the Stone Age. Fuck, I feel old. Anyway, this excellent J-horror flick kicked off the Asian horror craze. And also spawned a pretty well-received American remake. Other notable Asian horror films that have been deemed as some of the scariest ever are 1999's Audition, about a very strange woman with some even stranger hobbies. And that's pretty much where I'm gonna leave it off because I do not want to spoil anything in this excellent Japanese film. The 2003 South Korean film A Tale of Two Sisters, about some creepy ass and messed up family tragedies, is definitely a very worthy addition as well. However, this received a much less good American remake.
God damn it!
The 2002 Japanese film The Grudge is about a very haunted house. That received a pretty okay American remake, and let's not forget the Thai film Shutter from 2004, about a photographer discovering strange shadows, and damn, this movie had me on pins and needles almost all the way through. Lastly, I want to bring up the 2007 film Wreck from Spain. This is a great film that received a really shitty American remake that we should all ignore. The excellent original is about a news team following some firemen on what seems to be a routine call, but they encounter something very out of the ordinary. I'm actually not going to talk about this film too much as we're going to go deeper into it in another video. But basically, Wreck is one of the scariest films I've ever seen in a theater. I just had the perfect experience.
No puede haber entrado nadie.
Vale, pero enciéndela, por favor.
Ya está. Mierda.
¿Dónde estamos?
Yo qué sé.
So, those are some of the horror flicks from recent years that in my opinion are some of the scariest as well. Let me know what yours are in the comments. I'm your host, Sebastian Mendel Martinez, and I'm signing out.
anyone wanting to meet a sexy gymnast model, I can't lie, so a hot yeah, that works. Crazy. Hey! Personal masseuse.
Oh, I pull really hard. Like your mother, she's